November 2007. Harry, Harry, Ron began yelling as soon as he appeared in the flue. Ronald, Hermione yelled as she followed him. Harry stood in the doorway watching Ron duck away from his wife. Sorry, Harry, I know how you hate people just fluing in on you, Hermione apologized. But mate, you have to see this, Ron interjected. Hermione turned. Don't make me hex you. He ducked his head. Sorry, he mumbled. But we have to tell him. Immediately, she asked. Ron looked like he wanted to answer with something smart-assed, but thought better of it, and kept his mouth shut. Harry shook his head. Some things never change. Well, you're here. Whatever is it, you may as well tell me. What is it? Are you pregnant again, Hermione? Hermione turned a shade of red to match her husband's hair. Harry laughed. You are, aren't you? Ron bit his lip and muttered to Harry, She's threatening to send me to a muggle doctor for some procedure. Harry snorted. Well, you've managed to have 5 kids in the past 5 years. You're lucky she's waited this long. How was I supposed to know we'd end up with 2 sets of twins? If this is another set, you may never get to share a bed again, Harry chortled. Harry, Hermione warned. Harry shook his head. Well, it's the truth, isn't it? He replied while reaching for his wand just in case. Harry... Mate, Ron started. We'd better stop now. You know how she is when she's pregnant, he finished in a whisper only Harry could hear. Harry walked to Hermione and pulled her into a hug. Congratulations. You know I love having more nieces and nephews to spoil. Hermione hugged him back while shooting Ron a death glare over Harry's shoulder. We haven't told anyone else. That wasn't even why we came over tonight, so just keep it to yourself for a while longer, will you? Absolutely. So, if you didn't come to tell me about the newest Weasley, why are you here? What had Ron in such a dither? Hermione looked a bit uncomfortable as she reached into her handbag and pulled out a shopping bag. Harry groaned. Hermione, you didn't take Ron to the Muggle bookshop again, did you? Before she could answer, the fire flared green again, and out stepped a well-dressed blonde. Sorry, Potter. Didn't know you had company. It's okay, Malfoy. They just popped in. We can pick up our chess game next week, Draco said as he turned back to the fire, racing for the flue powder. No, Draco, stay. We won't be here long. We came to tell Harry something. Well, Ron did. I was trying to stop him. And I see you succeeded. Funny, Malfoy. Come on, Hermione, let's go. We can talk to Harry later. Hermione shook her head. No, we're here now. Besides, there's no reason Draco shouldn't know. Know what? Draco asked. Don't know, but it should be interesting. Hermione took Ron Muggle shopping again. He's nearly as fascinated with Muggle things as his dad, Harry replied. Ah, so there will be a story. Perhaps we should sit then, Draco suggested. Right, Harry agreed, summoning chairs for the quartet. Creature? Creature popped in next to Harry's chair. Yes, Master Harry? Would you please bring us some tea? Oh, and be sure Hermione's cup is decaffeinated. Yes, Master Harry. I'll be right back with tea and biscuits. Draco raised an eyebrow and looked towards Hermione. Decaffeinated? I suppose I should say congratulations? Again, Hermione blushed. As long as you say nothing to anyone else, then yes, and thank you, Draco. Okay, Ron, so tell, what is it that had you in such a lather you had to come tell me about? What did you find now? Ron glanced over at Draco before beginning. We were shopping for Hermione's parents for Christmas, and Ron wandered away because he was bored at what you were looking at, Harry asked. Oi, Ron complained. Really, Ron? Am I wrong? I've been with you in Muggle shops. You can't stand till you wander around looking at everything. Hermione nodded. That's exactly what he did. Next thing I know, he comes running over, grabs me by the arm, and drags me to the children's section. There was this display of books and games and pictures, and they were all of you. Me. Well, you, but not you, Ron replied. All kinds of books and games about Harry Potter. In a Muggle bookshop? Draco questioned again with a raised eyebrow. Creature returned and began passing out cups of tea and plates of biscuits. Yes, that's why I dragged Hermione to see it. I was sure I was seeing things, or some witch or wizard had bespelled this section of the store. Harry, Hermione began, I think the witch who finally let write your biography went and sold it to a Muggle production company as a children's fiction series. Actually, I'm sure of it. She pulled a box set of books out of the shopping bag and handed it over to Harry. Harry turned the box over in his hands, looking at the titles. Draco came and stood to peer over his shoulder. Who's this half-blood prince? Draco asked. Harry looked up at him. I take it you didn't read the biography? Draco shook his head. I lived so much of it along with you, and I really didn't want to relive it, thank you. It's not like I come off well in it, I'm sure. I was a rather prat, cut in Ron. Git, Harry supplied. Bloody booger, Hermione added with a large grin. Okay, you can stop taking the piss now, Draco rolled his eyes. Yes, all those things and worse. Who wants to read about themselves that way? Honestly, I know what you mean, Ron said. I was a right prat myself to Harry 4th year, and I took off on the two of them in the midst of the hunt for the Horcruxes. Not to mention all the times you snogged Lavender right in front of Hermione, Harry put in. Ron flinched and looked up. Mate, do you have to? She still knows that bloody bird charm. Harry laughed, then turned back to Draco. Snape was the half-blood prince. Wait, if you don't know that, how much do you know about Snape and the Order? You mean that he was a double agent? I got all that from the Prophet and the Quibbler. I figured if it was in both, it had to be the truth. Oh yeah, I was in there. Anyway, the books, Harry, Hermione said. They're written like they're made-up stories. I haven't done more than skim through the first one, but I had to buy them to read and see if they changed anything at all. Then you'll need this bag. Harry held out the box. No, that one's just for you. I bought one for myself. And one for Mom and Dad, and one for Bill and Fleur, and for Percy, and one for... We get the idea, Ron. Thanks. Draco looked at Hermione questioningly. You don't happen to have an extra, do you? I'll pay you for it. Or you could tell me which shop I could go to buy a set. Hermione reached in her handbag and pulled out another boxed set. You can have this one. How much do I owe you? She shook her head. Oh, don't worry about it. No, really, I can get Muggle money to give you, or just tell me how many galleons. I have no idea how much it is in wizard money, but it was 40 euro. I'll go to Gringotts tomorrow and make the exchange. I can owl it to you, or just have them deposit it in your account there. Really, Draco, it's okay. Just take the books. No, I should pay. Besides, you're probably going to be needing to buy more baby things, and from what I hear, children are expensive. Too bloody right, Ron muttered, then ducked his head as his wife sent him a glare. We need to go. We left Molly with the kids, and she's bound to be needing her bed about now. Or a stiff drink, Draco whispered, so that only Harry could hear. Harry stood. Thanks for bringing the books. I'll give them a look over, as will everyone else. Ron and Hermione grabbed a handful of flu powder each and quickly disappeared. Harry turned to Draco. You're really gonna read these? Draco nodded. I think it's more than time for me to face my past. Maybe if I read it in small parts, like these books, it won't be so bad. Harry nodded. We could start reading them now, while we drink our tea. I suppose we could. You really don't want to read them with anyone else around, do you? No, oh hell, I'll read it. It's not like you weren't there, and you're speaking to me now, so why not? Harry stifled a chuckle and gestured to the chair. Make yourself comfortable. They sat and read in silence for a while. I thought you didn't know you could speak parcel tongue. I didn't. But you talked to the snake at the zoo. But I didn't know I wasn't speaking English. You really lived in a cupboard? This was simply unfathomable to Draco, who had grown up at the manor. Yes. Draco shook his head. Your family are right arseholes. And yours is so wonderful. Oi. Okay, your mom is okay, but your dad was awful, even to you. Harry was answered by a small nod. Hagrid used magic on a muggle? You gonna report him now? No. I think I'd actually like to go shake his hand. With this, Harry jumped up and crossed to Draco's chair, putting his hand on Malfoy's forehead. You clearly aren't feeling well if you want to shake Hagrid's hand. Get off. Harry laughed and returned to his chair. I really must have been beastly to remind you of your cousin. Well, it's not like you were nice. I know. It gets worse, doesn't it? Well, yes, but remember, we were just kids, and you were a spoiled, rich pureblood, so you know. Harry grinned. Draco grimaced. Malfoy, that was a joke. But it was the truth. Maybe I should skip ahead some, if you want. Okay, fine. I won't bottle it. I'll keep reading, but I think I'm gonna go home. We can pick up chess again next week.